All right, I'm coming to the pro today, Stephanie. I've been in the fitness industry forever.
I know you have.
My back pain was because I have a weak core, weak abs. So I've been doing all sorts of crunches, abs, planks, but all I feel is my back. Help. Why is it? What can I do? Help.
I know. That's a common thing. And it's like a myth that's out there. And I don't know where it came from, that if you strengthen your core, that it will fix your back pain. Now, if you don't have back pain and you have a strong core, absolutely, it makes a difference. But when you have back pain, it doesn't make a difference. And the reason why people, we don't get to like what people are doing throughout the day that's creating some of their problems. So I always love to use like my finger analogy. So if I pull my finger back and I hold it in this position day after day, year after year, my joint doesn't like being in this position. So, and what happens is, as we get older, when we get out of the position, it takes us longer to recover from that. And then we go back into it. And then we come out of it and then we go back into it. So if my finger's like this, I don't care if you do injections. I don't care if you do core strengthening. I don't care if you do surgery, massage. It doesn't matter. We've got to fix the problem. So that's the first piece, is really understanding like what you're doing throughout the day and why it's happening. That's just one of the pieces, but we've got to address that piece. Otherwise you'll never get better.
Makes sense. So I'm going to give up the dream of having abs, and if it's not even going to work for the back, it's not even working for the abs. Okay. Thanks for the clarification on that. Another question, the back pain industry is tons and tons of money, right? People are just making it rain in the back pain.
They are.
But, and not getting results. They tried everything. How is it that, we're able to see patients? I took credit for that. I've seen the results come out of our office. They walk in with pain, they leave feeling much better. How is it that you're able to really get those results?
Yeah. And it comes down to, like, I always tell people there's like 4 phases to like our treatment. And if you miss any one of those phases, you move them out of the order, it doesn't work. And so a lot of people, like when you go to physical therapy, you only go to, okay, we've just got to do some strengthening and that's what's going to help. We got to strengthen, we got to stretch our hamstrings, we got to stretch our back. Well, it's not necessarily really true. The first phase is really that mobility phase. And what I mean by that is, how do the joints move? And just because you have pain in your back doesn't necessarily mean that there's not other areas that aren't moving. So we've got to look at the thoracic spine and see if that's moving, your back to see if that's moving, your hips to see if that's moving. Because if you aren't moving correctly, your body's going to move around it. So even if you do strengthening, you're going to have muscles that won't fire because you physically can't move, or you're going to be going around a joint because it's not moving correctly. So if you miss that mobility phase, you are missing so many other aspects of it. So once we get everything moving, then we can move to the strength phase. And it's important. Yeah. I mean, we have to, gradually build up our strength to be able to do the things that we need to be able to do and find the imbalances of what's happening. There could be imbalances with, our hips being weak, or our core can be weak too. But if we don't fix that mobility piece, we don't fix what you're doing throughout the day, with the other question of like, how we can modify, if it's sitting that's giving you problems, if it's sleeping that's giving you problems, we've got to modify those things so that you can heal. And then we get into that functional phase, which is really kind of getting you back to putting all the muscles together and how they work so that you can get back to, if it's running, or if it's just walking, playing with your kids, your grandkids, if it's playing a sport, then we go in and start getting the muscles to function correctly together, and then get you and transition you back to sport. But if you miss any one of those phases, or you put them in different orders, you're going to miss a big piece of it. And I think that's the difference, is that we're just able to spend time to really sit down and figure out, like, where is the source coming from? And how do we address it? What's the mobility? Is there some muscle tightness? Why is there muscle tightness? Because if you just go to doing massage, it doesn't always work, because that the tissue is a symptom. So we really get down to figuring out like where the source is coming from, because we have the time to spend with you and then teach you what you need to do to get out of it. I mean, we're like the coach of your body. That's what I like to tell people. And when we can do that, you'll hear people all the time saying, we just got a text message the other day saying, I still do those same stretches and I'm doing fantastic. As if I keep up with them, or if I start to have issues, I go right back to them and I'm doing great. And that's what we do.
All right. Thank you for that. Very enlightened, and put me in, coach.
exactly. I like